The election is over, and gun owners everywhere feel one way or another about that. That's what we're going to talk about. Welcome back to 22 Short Thursday on Get on Target with Link. By the time you're watching this, the election is already over, and we may even know who won. That's up in the air. I don't know at this point because I'm recording this on election day, but before any of the votes have come in. And what I wanted to talk about is gun owners have felt like this was an existential vote. And I want, although this is a non-political channel, I'm not taking sides on this issue. I want to just address why I think it's a non-issue in the first place. People think that their Second Amendment rights are under attack. That's one side of the equation. I'm here to suggest that that's never been the case. The Second Amendment is an amendment to the Constitution. The requirements to change that are so difficult, it will never happen. Never. It just simply won't happen. In order to change an amendment, 2/3 of both bodies of Congress, the House and the Senate, both have to vote for that change. Then it has to go out to the states, and 3/4 of the states have to ratify that change. Folks, that's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. It's a complete fear-mongering issue. Now, as far as gun laws and regulations are concerned, different question. This is a country of laws. That's how it works. It's not a country of men. No one's above the law. That's the concept. The laws are for everybody. So, in order for these laws to change, the way you and I influence those laws are twofold. One is through the vote, and the other is through the courts. We actually influence the courts through our vote because the courts are determined by the people that are in power. So what you have to understand is that the people are the ones that are directing what happens in both of those instances. Through our votes, we create the courts, and the courts create the laws, verify them, or strike them down. So even if, now this is radical and there are going to be a lot of hate mail about this, but this is how our system works. Even if the Second Amendment was struck down by 2/3 of both houses of Congress and went to the states, and the states ratified it, 3/4 of the states ratified that strike down of the Second Amendment, that would be the new law of the land, and this is a land of laws. And it would have been the people that had struck it down, not a tyrannical government, the people. And that's the only way the Second Amendment will ever go away. It's never going away, because you won't let it. It's not going to happen. The people will not rise up against the Second Amendment in those kinds of numbers. It's just never going to happen. Back in 1919, the 18th Amendment was passed, and alcohol became illegal in this country. About 11 years later, we wanted to drink too bad. So that was repealed, and the 21st Amendment was passed, and boom, we got our booze back. But the people made those changes. It was no one else. It was not a tyrannical government that made that change. It was the people. They voted for it, and they passed it. Second Amendment isn't going anywhere, folks. It never is. I don't know who won the election. Doesn't make any difference. It makes no difference whatsoever because you will not vote to have the Second Amendment go away. It's just never going to happen. So, although this is a non-political channel, I think what I'm talking about right now is a non-political issue. It's just trying to get some sense into people. There are things you can be worried about, things you can be scared about, things you can be angry about. That's all fine. The Second Amendment isn't one of them. It's not going anywhere. It's never going anywhere. It never was. And anyone who is threatening that that has any reasonable possibility of happening is just trying to scare you for whatever reason, for their own purpose. But it won't happen. So here we are. Someone has garnered the votes, and people are getting they're either celebrating or they're cast to the ground in tears. But either way, regarding the gun issue, in either way, their emotion is misplaced, because the power of whether or not we retain our gun ownership is in our hands. That's my spin, guys. I don't know who won. So I'm putting this out there it's going to come out after the fact. It's being recorded before the fact. And either way, I stand by this. This is the truth. You have been really ramping up for something that's frankly an impossibility. It's a non-argument. So I encourage everybody to just relax a little bit. Just chill out. The courts have actually swung quite further to the right, which is going to have the effect of protecting gun rights to a greater degree than perhaps they have been in the past. So regardless of who won this election, the courts are where they are right now. And it takes a long time to change that. It takes a lot of vacancies and creating new selections for those positions. So this isn't something that changes on a dime. Nothing's going to change in January regarding those gun laws like that. It just won't happen. So chill out a little bit. There's been so much noise on the gun channels about this election that have been, frankly, nonsense. It doesn't matter which side of the equation you're on. This is not a political rant. It doesn't make any difference what side of it you're on. It's nonsense. It takes a lot. Even if laws are changed, they then are challenged in the courts. And the courts have taken a definite move to the right. So the world's not coming to an end in terms of our gun ownership. States can do what they wish, and the states are driven by their populations. They elect their people, and if those laws get changed in those states, it's because the people there want them that way. You don't have to like it, and you don't have to move there. And you can have the representation that you want in your state and have laws that are different. But the overall effect of this is always affected by the courts and your vote. There isn't some tyranny that's happening that has overtaken the country and will suddenly make you a criminal. just isn't going to happen, guys. Let the hate mail flow. Let me hear from you. The comments are there. I'm willing to listen to your pushback, but I really think we have made ourselves. We create the response to gun owners by the way that we present ourselves to the world. If we present ourselves as reasonable people with a well thought out argument, that's how we'll be perceived. If not, not. And what we have to understand is that how we are perceived is where the country will go. There'll be a pushback if we are reactionary, and we'll cause that ourselves. That'll be our own doing. And I don't recommend it. If that's what you're going to do, you're going to do it. I don't recommend it. I think being responsible people that have a passion for for guns and for firearms, for shooting, that's justifiable. I've got it. I enjoy mine tremendously, and I know you do too. That's what I'm going to represent to the world, is my enjoyment for this recreation, passion, defense. But I have to have a reasonable threat to defend myself against. Right now, I don't see it. And I think you'll find that the system itself is our best defense. So let me hear from you. That's my rant, short and sweet today, for 22 millimeter short. But let me hear from you. Until I do, next time on Get on Target with Link, I will see you.